Welcome to another edition of the Crotchety Old Man Podcast, where we're going to give you more information, education, exposure, and opportunity. Today, we've got our special guest back again, Oscar Sistrunk. But before we get into that, I got to introduce my co-host, Mr. PC. How you doing over there, PC?
My man. What's going on, brothers? How's everybody this morning? I'm doing well as could be expected. I'm 6 feet above, which is about as tall as I'm ever going to get in this life. And you all know what I mean.
I think you gave yourself a couple of inches, but that's for a different conversation.
For sure. What's up, Otis?
Oscar, how you doing today?
Doing okay. I used to be 6 feet, but I think I'm 5'10" now.
Oh, yeah.
You said you're 5'10" now.
I'm shrinking. I'm going down to zero. They're probably day.
Hey, Oscar, scoot yourself a little closer to the mic. You kind of fading on me.
All right.
There you go. So, audience, we wanted to have Oscar back because we had him on a couple of weeks ago, and the discussion was really good about, the state of crypto and what's going on with crypto with this new government we have. But we also thought it'd be nice because we kind of ended it to started talking about what is crypto and kind of to give our audience a more of an education so that they kind of know. And I'll also caution once again, we are not a financial fiduciary. We're not a financial planner or a financial advisor. So any information we give here is strictly, as I always say, for educational purposes, entertainment purposes, and you should make your own financial decisions based on someone that's called a professional. So with that said, Oscar, tell us, what is cryptocurrency?
All right. What is cryptocurrency? And it's very interesting. It's like, 30 years ago, back in the 90s, let's say not maybe 13, 14 years ago, when people started talking about the internet. And you said, what is the internet? And people couldn't quite grasp what it was. Nobody, a lot of people thought it was temporary, it was a scam, didn't know what was going on. And I think we're at the same spot with cryptocurrency. What is it? What it really is it uses a system called the blockchain. And the blockchain is a way, it's like a digital computerized ledger. It's almost like, I don't know, an Excel file, but it's controlled by the computer. So the blockchain is a certain kind of system of which Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, there's a lot of cryptocurrencies of which Bitcoin is the first one and the big one, sits on top of this blockchain. And the blockchain basically manages all transactions of a currency. And it's an open source, meaning every transaction that occurs on the blockchain forever is available to everyone, right? That's what the blockchain is. And the cryptocurrency, and let me say this, the blockchain wouldn't be able to exist without the internet. So it's kind of like a layer on top of the internet, just like social media would not work without the internet. So the internet was the basis of 35 years ago. And back then in the early 90s, no one could have ever thought about social media would happen. Nobody ever knew about cryptocurrency. But as these new layers form on top of this internet, and what the blockchain allows us to do is have finally a currency for the internet. Think of it like that. It's a currency for the internet. What does that mean? We'll have to find out.
Now, there are certain, I guess, categories or certain types of cryptocurrency. You want to go into that a little bit?
Yes. There are basically three types. We've got the big boy, which is Bitcoin. And as I said earlier, I look at that as a savings, long-term savings account. We had that discussion last time. But I look at it as a long-term savings account. Then there's Ethereum. And because that blockchain allows for smart contracts, it's more of like a checking account. You can have money flow, you can have the currency flowing in and out. Right? So I tell people Ethereum is more like a checking account. Bitcoin is more like a savings account. Those are the big ones. And then you have meme coins. Everybody's talking about meme coins. Meme coins are really a marketing. I hate to say the word scam, but some of them are scammy. Some of them they raise money and then they do what's called a rug pull, where they then pull all the money out of it and you've lost everything. It goes down to zero. Probably the latest and the one people mostly know of, and it was not a rug pull, but it was kind of sketchy. Let's say that was the Trump coin. So meme coins don't have much of a use other than it's a way of making money, especially if you get in early. You remember the old days of the chain letters, right? When you used to have those change letters, and if you got in early, you get you get people sending you money until eventually it just disappeared. And the people
Well,
at
you
the
know, I
end of the
never,
chain
I never, I never
money.
got in those letters early enough to get any money at any time in particular.
Me neither.
And I found out
Exactly.
real quick that was a big scam. And of course,
Yeah.
if you find that things are a scam, when you're dealing with the crotchety old men, you can get crotchety a little bit. You know what I mean? We're not
All
gonna,
right.
we're not gonna put you in jail for that. But
All
you had
right.
mentioned something about meme coins, and from what I understand, meme coins is like you said, it's a quick way to exchange, make some money, and get out. So, if you will, would you please tell us there are three coins that I'm curious about? One is the meme coin that you just mentioned. The other two are the utility and stable coins. So, tell us um, in brief but concise detail the difference between those two coins or three
Now
coins, rather.
you put me in a box as a college professor. It's hard for me to be brief and concise
I
because
know,
I
I
got to
know,
either.
I already know.
But I'm
I
gonna
already
try.
know. But do your thing, Oscar. Do your thing.
Do our best. But let's talk stable coins. Stable coins are coins that are tied to the dollar. What that means is if you buy, there are three different ones, main ones that I use. One is called USDC, another one's called USDT, and another one's DAI. They are created and actually the coin is tied to a dollar. It's almost like the days when the dollar was tied to gold, right? So this time, your USDC coin or any stable coin, there's a dollar sitting in an account somewhere, right? So when you bring it into, let's say, Coinbase as cash, right, in US currency, and I convert it to USDC, they actually will give me, let's say, $1,000 of USDC, but they'll take my $1,000 in currency and save it for me. It'll be sitting there. So it is tied to the dollar. And you can use it to spend to buy meme coins or the utility coins, or eventually you'll be able to use it to buy any kind of product you want, right? I mean, there are stores that are beginning to accept cryptocurrency, and they'll accept stable coins.
Well,
I'll show you real
they'll
quick.
accept any kind of coin if it's on the market and you invested in it, right?
Right. And let me show you this. This is a Coinbase Visa debit card. This card is tied to my stable coin. So any place that accepts Visa debit card, I can use it and it'll take the money out of my stablecoin account, right? So it's very similar to if I use a Bank of America debit card and they take the cash out of my, for lack of a better word, my dollar currency account.
So, Oscar, let's talk about the conversion there. So, what allows these coins, especially the stable coins, if they're tied to the dollar, is it a one for one value?
Yes.
And if so, what dictates that these coins continue to go up?
Well, now stable coins do not go up. They will always stay a dollar. That's why they're stable. They're always going to stay a dollar. So I had a discussion with a gentleman the other day about this who's in the stock market. And he was saying he didn't like to use cryptocurrency because the value's up and down. And I said, well, eventually you'll be able to use stable coins to buy things. And he said, well, yeah, or move money. And he said, but yeah, if I had $100 million and I put it in Bitcoin, by the time I move it, it could change 2 or 3%, and I'd be in trouble. And I said, well, what you could do is you could take your $100 million and buy $100 million worth of stable coins and then move it across the world for little or nothing instead of having to go through the banking system and pay all these fees.
So wait a minute. Let's put a pin in it right there. Okay.
Right.
So if you put money into a stable coin and the stable coin doesn't have any thing that allows it to go up and down, what's the benefit of me putting it in that? If I, like you said, if I put $10 in stable coin and next week it's still worth $10, what have I gained?
You're using it as a short-term storage without the volatility of that dollar moving or changing, right? If I need to put that money in there because I want to send it to Japan, I can send it that $10, convert it to stable coins, and instantly send it to Japan. And which at the other end, they're going to take those stable coins and convert it into a stable yen coin.
So
right?
so basically we're circumventing the bank?
Yeah. Remember what we talked about? We're getting away from the banking system. If the banking system doesn't adapt, which I think they will, they tried to kill it first and they can't. So if they don't hurry up and adapt, they're in serious trouble.
Okay.
So now let's talk about the difference. We got an idea what the meme coin is. Got an idea what the stable coin is. Let's look at the utility coin and talk about that for a minute.
There are hundreds of utility coins. The big one is of course Bitcoin, the first one, which, as I told you, I refer to it as a savings account, long term. Right. The second one is Ethereum. It came about after Bitcoin because they came up with a blockchain that allows contracts, smart contracts, they call them. And that means you basically could do an if-then kind of transaction. And the blockchain will handle the transaction for you based on something occurring. And so Ethereum is sort of like a checking account. And then all the others are offshoots of that, whether it's XRP, Solana, which is very similar to Ethereum. The difference being Solana was created as a blockchain that lowered the cost of transactions. Ethereum, when it gets really busy, gets very expensive. Only people dealing in four digits and above, right? Like thousands of dollars or more, Ethereum is worth it. But if you're dealing with $20 or $10, Solana is the account is the blockchain to use. It's much cheaper, like pennies.
So what has made Bitcoin escalate in value? What's the driver there?
It's based on, as any currency, it's supply and demand. Bitcoin will only have 21 million coins. So the computer program and the blockchain is set up such that we know exactly how many coins there are and exactly when they'll be produced. And once they're produced, and that's it. As demand grows, and that's where the volatility is right now, right? It's on the demand side. The supply side is always set. So think about it. The price is based on supply and demand. Supply is always set. Over time, as more and more uses develop, demand will continue to grow for it, and therefore the price will continue to increase. That's what's doing it,
So
and it's going through cycles right now. But eventually, it will just like Amazon stock and others, it will eventually just level out and have a use, and will kind of stabilize, but will always probably be moving upward as more and more demand has it growing.
so what drives the demand? What you use the word use. Explain those two things, use and demand for
There are uses for Bitcoin. Now there are other, like I said, there are other utility coins that are trying to peel off some of that use. But for Bitcoin, I think the biggest right now is a long-term savings account. You see the 4-year cycle where you see significant changes in the price right now. But as it continues to grow, and as the price continues to grow, the amount of volatility will be reduced. Over time, the volatility so far has been reducing because more and more people use it. It's becoming more stable, for lack of a better word,
okay.
right? But it's going to always continue to go up because there's always going to be demand as more and more countries come on board. For example, if countries begin to start using Bitcoin as part of their strategic reserve, like El Salvador has done, right? And El Salvador has caught a lot of grief because the World Bank sees Bitcoin as a serious threat, and they've told El Salvador that if you want to participate in the world with the World Bank and some of these other systems, you got to do something about this crypto, this Bitcoin thing that you're doing, because they're trying to stop it, but it won't stop because it takes out the middleman, it takes out government manipulation. I think about it. All that government manipulation, like the U.S. dollar, they just print them like crazy. That won't happen with Bitcoin. So once you get a coin, that's your coin. Now, of course, remember that Bitcoin can be broken up into many pieces.
Yeah, Bitcoin has 100 million satoshis
Right.
that make up one coin. All right. So let's talk about if we take a Bitcoin down the road and it's on the market, we're trading with it, we're buying things with it. At some point, it would seem to me like these since you only have a certain amount of Bitcoin that's going to be made ever, then it seems to me that they're going to break this Bitcoin down into Satoshis, and you're going to be charged for buying cars, houses, whatever. So many Satoshis.
That's right. That's what's going to
Am
happen.
I on to something here?
You're exactly right. Once Bitcoin reaches $1 million a coin, you can then break that Bitcoin up into 100 million pieces. One piece would equal a penny. At that point, I think you start talking more about Satoshis than the Bitcoin.
So now about the other coins, are they broken down into pieces like that as well?
No, many of the other coins, they don't have a necessary limit, or the limit is very high in the number of Ethereum that you have. And it's because of the way people, they're, as I said earlier, these blockchains, they're run by a computer, but somebody has to manage that computer and somebody has to get paid for doing that. So there's a payment system built into these blockchains.
So what
And
happens when
Bitcoin, everybody's different.
AI is programmed into these computers? And now what are you talking about?
I'm talking about like me. That's why I want to learn about those when we talked about those crypto bonds. I want to learn. Yeah, think about it. If you took AI, right, and you were able to write an AI program, which you can if you use ChatGPT or DeepSeek, you can create you can ask for, you can prompt out and get one of these apps, and then you can put it on the blockchain and let it 24/7, 365 find arbitrage or find opportunities for you to make a little bit of money here and there. Like I said earlier, you're gonna have the day. I just think this is gonna happen, which is why I'm trying to learn it. I think the day is gonna happen when you're gonna have these bots. These bots are gonna be out there spread among hundreds of blockchains all over the place, dealing with many different currencies, just looking for different things for you. Right? If I had a bot that says you find an arbitrage opportunity for those who don't know arbitrage, right? We're talking about those unique. There's an inefficiency in the market, right? The bot is programmed to find that. That bot is sitting out there 24/7, 7 days, 365, looking for this one little opportunity, and it just sits there. And then all of a sudden, bam! It finds one and transacts it, makes you $5, throws it into your wallet, and it's doing that all the time. You wake up in the morning, one day there might be $5, one day there might be $20, one day there might be $100. And if I could do that with a bot through AI, then why couldn't I have 100 bots all on different blockchains looking for unique situations?
Well, they're doing that
And
now with your stocks and with
yeah,
your money exchange. They have bots that will do exactly what you're describing
yeah,
would happen with Bitcoin or whatever currency.
right.
Right.
And see, there's more arbitrage opportunities in crypto because right now it's still inefficient. It's still the Wild West. You could have a bot that could have played against the Trump coin if you wanted. If you thought, well, Trump ain't nothing but a, scammer, well, then why don't we come up with a bot to take advantage of his scamming other people and find those inefficiencies and go ahead and short and, long it, short it, find the inefficiencies on the different, uh, ways in which you can buy Trump coin. There's going to be different inefficiencies in the price. They just sit out there and just make $5 here, $10 here, $20, and just do that all day and night. That's all it does. And throw
So
up
what's
that
your
money into your wallet.
so what's your take on utility coins?
Okay. Utility coins, other than Ethereum and blockchain, there are many of them. I had mentioned Solana. I had mentioned XRP. Remember, XRP, the federal government went after them. They won the case. So now many people are talking about XRP as some kind of currency coin. Everybody's still playing with it. I think if you took about Doge, right? Elon is trying to use Dogecoin and trying to figure out how to use that. I think that if I remember, Mark Cuban a few years ago tried to use cryptocurrency when he had the Dallas Mavericks. I don't remember if it was XRP or something, but all these different coins out there, there's hundreds of them. Are as people use them, if they don't want to use Ethereum because Ethereum's a little expensive, if they don't want to use Bitcoin because at this point it's hard to have you can't have a smart contract on there. Then you've got all these other systems out there and coins, and people just and companies are tying in to use them. Because here's where it's going. When you look at video games, or if you look at the metaverse, if that ever becomes what they talk about on the metaverse side, then there's going to probably be a cryptocurrency for you to buy things and sell things in this metaverse. And for us old people, I'm really talking about like the Matrix. But for young people, it's the metaverse.
Okay.
And my grandkids ask me all the time, what video games were there when you were young? And I said it was called baseball and football and tag, and rock throwing, snowball fights. I mean, I know nothing about video games.
So Oscar, you've done a good job of explaining what crypto is, and I think for our audience, we understand now it's to create a currency outside of the banking system. So knowing that, let's talk a little bit about how you hold this currency. I think that goes into wallets, and I don't know what else, what other word I
Okay,
use, but I've heard about the wallets. Kind of give us that.
sure. Right now, and again, the banks do not accept cryptocurrency, right? They accept nations' currencies like the dollar, the yen, and that kind of stuff, right? So you can have right now within your bank here in the United States, you have an account that's a U.S. currency account. They will eventually have and allow you to have a cryptocurrency account. They're not there yet, but they're getting there. So what you have to do now is you have to have an intermediary. I use Coinbase.com as my intermediary. That's that's the difference between my U.S. bank, like Bank of America, and my wallet. So let me explain the wallet first. The wallet is where you basically hold your cryptocurrency, just like a wallet in your pocket. It's on the internet, and it can either be a hot wallet or a cold wallet. A hot wallet is a wallet that is always on, and it's on your computer or it's on your cell phone or it's on your tablet, right? It's something, whenever it's connected to the internet, the wallet is active, and it is connected to the blockchain, and it's where you hold your currency, your cryptocurrency. A cold wallet is one where you actually buy a device, a physical device that looks like a USB drive, or maybe has another shape to it. But what it does is it allows you to take your cryptocurrency and take it off the network. So it's cold, so nobody can access it. A lot of people don't like hot wallets because if it's ever hacked, you don't know, and then your currency is gone. It's very difficult to hack, but it is possible. So you can move your cryptocurrency from a hot wallet to a cold wallet, at which point no one can move your currency off the blockchain without your cold wallet being hooked up to the blockchain through a computer or a device. So it's a way of taking it, putting it away, and then say, that's it. I mean, nobody can get to it. I'm very risk averse. I'm very cautious. I'm very aware of the fact that I have a hot wallet. And so there's a lot of things I don't put on my computer. Now, one thing is I could put my hot wallet on a separate computer by itself and turn that computer off. Right? If I did that, then I'm not sure somebody could then get into my wallet. I'd have a computer by itself. I turn on, it connects. I'm ready to go. But what I do is, and just to give you and the people out there how cautious I am, I don't use my phone or my computer or my tablet to read one of those little logos that you see. You know how they have those when you go to when you go to a restaurant, the menu now they've got that little logo that you see, and you're supposed to scan it, and then it'll take you to a website or take you to the menu or do whatever it's supposed to do. What I want to say a
Yeah,
barcode, but it's not.
it's the what do you call it? It's not the UPS. It's the oh shoot,
Yeah,
I can't
but
think of the name of it
I
just that
can't think of
quick.
the name. But that's all right. That's a senior moment. That's all right. I'll let it go. But
We all
yeah,
had a senior moment. Yeah, exactly.
right. But we know that I don't scan those things. I don't scan those codes. I don't even scan barcodes anymore, like that kind of stuff. Why? Because they can be embedded with stuff that could get to your computer and theoretically could get access to your wallet, your hot wallet, and order a transaction for you and transfer all your coins from your wallet to somewhere else, and that would be it. So I'm very conservative because I do have a hot wallet. And if somebody didn't want to do that, they could get a cold wallet. So anyway, getting back to the question, we've got our wallet, which is connected to the blockchain, which holds our currencies. Our dollar currency is held at the bank. So you need something to help that transaction, that transfer. And that's, I use Coinbase.com. You can use any of the others. And what you do is with Coinbase.com, I'm connected to my bank account. And I order money transferred either way from my bank account to Coinbase, which will accept dollars, or from Coinbase that will send dollars to my bank. Right? So it goes both ways. That's how I deal with the dollar side. Then with Coinbase, I sell my dollars into some kind of crypto, whether it's a stable coin, whether it's a meme coin, or whether it's a utility coin. That's up to me, depending on what I'm going to do with the money. Right? Once I do that, then I move it from Coinbase to my wallet. And then that's where it stays. So sometimes I'll move dollars to Coinbase.com, and there's a fee. It's not that much, but there's a fee. Then I'll make a transaction where I turn the U.S. dollar into a stable coin like USDC. Again, there's a small fee for doing that. And then I take that stable coin and I send it to my wallet. And again, there's a small fee for that. So I got a couple of fees. I got 3 little fees here. All right. But that's how it works. But eventually, it's all going to be smoothed. It's going to be all done through the bank, directly to your wallet, or the banks will hold your wallet for you if you want them to. I don't know if I want them to do that, but they'll probably get to that point for those people that feel comfortable. And at that point, right, as it develops, it's like the internet. As it develops, it becomes seamless and it becomes something that everybody knows. You remember when we used to have dial-up, right? You remember when you used to have AOL, you had the code, you had to pay $30 a month or $24, but whatever it was. Now, everybody looks at it, it's like the internet's seamless. It's just there. You can get access to whatever you want. You don't have to pay anything. It's just automatic. This generation now probably wouldn't even know what it was like to live without the internet, right? And dial-up, what is that?
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk now about some of the moves that the government has made recently. I think I heard the other day about creating a crypto reserve. Then also heard some things about having a crypto summit, and so all this additional attention on crypto. What does that mean for us as the regular consumers?
Eventually, on the what they call on the on-ramp side, which means to get in and interact with this, it's going to become easier and simpler over time, just like I talked about, right? As the banks and others get into it. On the regulatory side, right now we're kind of like in the Wild Wild West, the 1920s. Now here we are 20 years later, 100 years later, in the 2020s. We're kind of in the same place, which is why I'm thinking, I wonder if we need another 1929 or 2029 to collapse everything so people realize we need some serious government control and overseeing of this. Whether it is, maybe we need another, maybe the next president is going to be the next FDR, right? Who picks up the pieces, puts it together, and we now have a whole new system that works. Right now, I don't know if this administration, I can really trust them to really, they're talking about it. They talked about this strategic reserve. If you notice what happened, and I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. That's what I'm saying, man. I know this dude. He got on and said, we're going to have a strategic reserve. We're going to have Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and ADA, right? Or Cardano. But that's ADA. So the federal government's going to have that, right? All of those coin values shot up 20% in a day. Unbelievable. Just boom, everybody happy. I said, oh, here he goes again. He done bought it last night. got out there this morning, said this, it went up 20%, and then what happened?
Went
It
back
fell
down.
right back down, even now below where it was. So somebody then sold out and when it got to 20%, and everybody else got.
So let me ask you this. If that's the case, why would the founding fathers of banks give up their positions to get into this Bitcoin? Because right now, the Rothschilds and all them folks, Chase and all them people are running amok on the world as far as the world banking system goes. If we get into Bitcoin, it's gonna take us out of the world banking order and put us in a new system, which is the same reason why the United States collaborated with NATO and killed Muammar Gaddafi, because he had gotten 15 African nations to back his money that was backed by gold, and that would have flipped the world banking system on its head. So they got rid of it. So why would the banks be interested in going over to a crypto system?
Because they've been trying to kill it. If you remember years ago, some of your big boys out there used to always dog crypto out. Some of the big names out there. Um, and I used to show in class the videos of those guys talking about how crypto was a scam, how it was just for drug dealers and that kind of stuff. Lo and behold, all of a sudden now BlackRock has an ETF.
Right. That's what I
So
wanted to
now
talk
all of a
about
sudden,
next.
Spence,
Yeah.
Spence, all them guys, they done changed their tune. But guess what? If you go back and watch some videos I used to show, they were buying it a long time ago. They just wasn't saying nothing. Because in the back of their mind, they already knew what we know, right? They know this is possibly going to kill. This is a killer. So we at first we're going to try and kill it. But if we can't kill it, maybe I'll buy some of it and sit in the side just in case. Then when they realized they couldn't kill it, that they say, well, we might as well join in. We got to co-opt this thing, or just like PC said, we'll be out of business. So they're now in the co-op stage where they're figuring out ways, and eventually, that's what I'm saying. The banks are eventually going to be holding your cryptocurrency for you through a crypto wallet that they hold, that they have. Bank of America will have a crypto wallet as an account that you'll have with a debit card attached to it. And when you want to transfer money, you transfer it using Zelle, just like everybody else, right? Or you transfer it internally. If you got a couple of bank accounts with Bank of America internally, you can just transfer money from one account to the other. You'll be able to go in there and just your deposit from your employee comes in, and you take some of it and you send it to your Bank of America wallet crypto account, and then you buy some Ethereum with it, or you buy some stable coin with it, and keep it moving. All this other stuff about Coinbase and all this goes away. It becomes seamless, just like the internet does.
Good stuff,
It's
man.
just a matter of time.
Really good stuff. Really good stuff. And I'm going to extend this to our audience. If you have any other questions about crypto, drop us a line at Thecrotchetyoldmenpodcast at gmail.com. And we'll get it over to Oscar, and we'll get a response to you. But this has been very, educational for me, because I'll be real honest with you. I knew nothing about crypto other than, what you read. Wasn't familiar with the terminology, and I think you've clearly given us some definitions and something we can sink our teeth in. Here again, I caution our audience. I mean, this is just, entertainment purposes. So, but take the information, as you want, and do your own research and decide on how you want to proceed. But I think it's really good that we were able to break it down to a level where, when we even look at it on the news, and now we're looking at what's happening in the world, we have some type of basis or content to understand what the heck's going on, especially for us old crotchety old men. For the young folks, they seem to pick it up a little bit easier, but for us crotchety old men, it takes us a minute to kind of digest and understand what they're talking about. So, man, here again, thanks for coming on. PC, you got any other questions before we let Oscar get on with his day? You're muted.
I just want to
You're
say I
muted,
appreciate you,
PC.
Oscar, for the enlightening of crypto, because it's a tricky kind of business. When we talk about the government, especially the Trump administration, unloading millions of dollars, and you gotta look at what Trump's doing on the side. It's not about crypto for him. It's about, I would imagine, the fact that crypto is not governed by any governing body, and that's what he needs to operate. He dances in the underworld, and so crypto allows him to do this. It's not so much about the Gaza and taking over the Gaza. He's looking at what side bets can happen from the Gaza, the amount of money that he can make if he's allowed to go into the Gaza and create palaces and whatnot. So I mean, we can't really just take what Trump does on face value. But I certainly appreciate the way that you have let us know the difference between meme coins. We can certainly, hopefully, our guests can make a more intelligible decision about what they're going to do with their money, especially as it relates to crypto. So, you welcome back here anytime, brother. You one of the crotchety old brothers.
Yeah, I'm a crotchety old man, and you can call me anytime because I want to try and educate our community as much as I hear all the time people say we're always the last to know. Well, I'm gonna try and make it so that you're the first to know. You just have to join this group. You got to join the crotchety old man and listen, and you'll be at the top of the heap instead of the bottom of the pyramid. That's
There
what
you
I'm
go.
trying to. That's what
There you
we're trying
go.
to do. You just have to reach out and get the knowledge, and you'll be okay.
There you go.
Well, speaking of getting the knowledge, I've got the word for the day, George, which will be apropos, and I'm sure Oscar will have a special delight in what I'm about to say. The true
All right, hit
teacher,
us.
the true teacher, knocks down the idol that the student makes of himself.
All
And
right,
that's
you
all
about
I
to run
got to
that back again? Say
say.
that one again.
Sure. The true teacher knocks down the idol that the student makes of himself.
All right.
Right.
Sounds good. As we always say on the Crotchety Old Man podcast, hey, if you didn't know,
You didn't know, now you know.
Hey, take care. Be blessed. See you
Peace
next
out,
time.
people.
Thank you.